Well, good morning, Becky K, followers and fans. If you're not already subscribed and liked my videos, please do so because I'm looking for more followers. Tell your friends, family, pets, non-friends, whoever you meet on the street, hey, tell them to follow me. Tell them, hey, they might get a laugh if they just watch anything I might have on here. Hey, you might find out something that you never knew. Today we're going to talk about some mispronounced words, raising kids, and a whole lot more. I was talking to some friends of mine and my kids and stuff. We was talking about mispronounced words. You know, I moved around a whole lot when I was growing up. When I was little, I lived in Virginia, traveled a lot. My dad was an evangelist, so we traveled a lot all over the United States. Grew up in mostly Florida after he quit and became a truck driver. Yeah, I know. He did a whole lot of weird shit. Anyway, grew up in Florida, and then from there we moved to the backwoods of Kentucky, a little bitty town. Boy, I tell you what, learned a whole lot of words there. And they sure did not pronounce those words right. Got a whole lot of kicks out of that and a whole lot of laughs. Me and my mom, we used to I got my weird sense of humor from her. She passed away a few years ago. I lost my best friend. That's okay, because 20 years ago, well, it may be 21 years ago, I married my best friend. And me and him, we've had our ups and downs because, no marriage is perfect, but that's okay. We're still making it. 21 years in May. Whew, whole lot of time's passed. But anyway, back to our mispronounced words. One word that stands out. I was just amazed that these country people said. And you know what? I ain't making fun of them. Bless their heart. Learned that word. If you say something about somebody, you can say bless their heart at the end of it. Might mean that they're dumb as a coal bucket, but you know what? You can say bless their heart and it makes it all better. Because you can say that when you're living in the mountains. Makes it all better. So you know what? You can say what you want about somebody. Make sure you say bless their heart at the end of it. That way you covered your ass. We used to go visit a friend of mine's aunt. She had had breast cancer and had to have her breast removed, which was terrible. But she overcame that and she was doing all right. She'd have to go every so often to have tests run at the hospital. And she beat that cancer and she did real good. Well, bless her heart. We'd go over there and we'd be drinking coffee and eating biscuits or whatever she'd have fixed. And she could cook, let me tell you. That woman had some down home cooking. You never walked away from her house hungry. She'd be sitting talking to my mom and she'd say, Barb, my mom's name was Barbara, but they called her Barb. She'd say, Barb, I gotta go to the hospital tomorrow. Make sure you pray for me. They gonna be running testes on me. They're gonna run them testes all over my body. They're running them testes all over me. Make sure you pray for me. My mom would be like, all right, Bessie, we'll be praying for you. We'd leave. We'd get in the car. We'd be driving down the road. I'd look at my mom. I'd be like, she's having them testes run on her. I sure hope she takes a bath after they run their testes all over. We'd get to laughing so hard, we'd have tears running down our face. Mom would say, bless her heart. That sure didn't help it any better. Oh, Lord. I tell you, And then when I was in my senior year of high school, we were in a play. I love drama. I was in drama my senior year of high school. And I loved acting because you got to be somebody else for a while. And we did the play Heading for the Hills. Well, in this play, it was about some country folks. Well, I played Ma in the play, and I had a adult son, and his name was Zeke, and we had to go to the country store and buy him some long johns. Well, when you was in the mountains back in the day, they didn't put your stuff in a bag or anything like that. They'd wrap it up in newspaper and give it to you. Well, in my line for the play, I was supposed to tell him to make sure that he wrapped those long johns in some Sunday paper. And I wanted him to wrap them in the Sunday funnies because Zeke liked to read the funnies. Well, I got it to do my line, and I would say, make sure you wrap those in the Sunday funnies because Zeke likes to read those. Well, I thought for sure my poor drama teacher was going to have a coronary and a stroke because that vein on her head would bulge out and pop. I thought it was going to pop. She'd be like, cut, cut, cut. Shh, do that line over because you're not saying it right. And I'm trying to figure out what I'm saying wrong because I was reading it right. I know I was saying it correctly. She's like, you're not saying it right. You're not saying it right. I'd look over at the guy that was playing Zeke and I'd be like, what am I saying wrong? He's like, you're supposed to say, make sure. It's not make sure, make sure. It's sure. I was like, it says sure. He said, that's not how you say it around here. It's sure. It's not sure. It's not sure. It's sure. And it's not Sunday. It's Sunday. I'm like, it says Sunday. He said, no, around here in the mountains, it's Sunday. So I'd go say it again, and I'd screw it up all over again because I'm over here pronouncing it correctly and not in the mountain way. And I tell you what, it took me forever. But I tell you what, I finally got it right. Well, it come up time. We had a packed house. We had sold out every seat in the auditorium. We did 3 plays that night. 3 sold out houses. I was a nervous wreck. Well, I had these big old clodhopper shoes on, and I was in costume, and I was ready to go. Well, I was waiting for my turn, so I took my shoes off, and here I am in my sock feet, pacing back and forth, practicing my line, going shore, 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 Sunday, 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 walking back and forth, back in the back. Well, it come up time for me and Zeke to go out. They go, come on, get ready, come on, get ready to go out. And I'm going, shore, 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 Sunday, 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 Sunday. And it come up time to go out. So we go on out there, and I got my line right and everything. And I'm standing there, and I look down, and I'm in my sock feet. I had forgot my shoes in the back. But everybody loved it. They thought that it was part of the act because we were just poor mountain country folk. They thought I couldn't afford shoes. So they thought that was just part of it. So the other 2 acts, I had to go out there with no shoes on. But bless their hearts, they loved it. And I did my line right all 3 times. So I did good. I said, make sure you wrap them in the Sunday funnies because Zeke loves to read them Sunday funnies. So I did real good. But that's some more words they sure don't pronounce correct. And I've got used to saying sure. And it's real hard once you get used to saying something to get back used to saying it the correct way. And another one. People say axe. Why do they say axe? When they want to ask you a question, I don't want nobody asking me nothing. So I'm afraid they're going to hit me in the head with an axe. No, you ask me something. No, I don't want you asking me. because he might hurt me with that. My son, he said, I'll tell you one that they mess up. He said, they mess up library. It's library, not library. There ain't no berries. Why do they say that? I'm like, I don't know. He said, they just mess up everything. And he says another one. If they're going to wash their truck, why do they say wash? I said, I don't know. Where they get wash from? I said, I don't know. There is so many words. If you got any words that people mispronounce that you can think of, hop on here and tell me some. I would love to hear what you have to say. Leave some words in the comments. I would love to hear some mispronounced words that you have. Just kind of funny words or words that get on your nerves that people say or things that people do that get on your nerves. Believe me, I got some pet peeves. I'll get into those on another show, though. Let's talk about raising kids. There's some things that my kids do that really just ride my last nerve. They'll be like, you be working your butt off doing everything underneath the sun. You ask them to do something, and they act like it kills them to do it. You be like, I did this, 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 and this, and you ask them to do something, they'll be like, I have to do everything. Boy, I just cooked and done this, isn't you feeding your face with what I just cooked, and you telling me that it's gonna kill you to go pick up them clothes? Seriously? I just folded them. I fold them. I wash them. I cook and you eating the food I cook, but it's gonna kill you to do that? Seriously? Sometimes my kids, I just wonder about them. They do some stuff. I love them to death. Don't get me wrong. I do. I love my kids to death. I wouldn't give nothing for them. But I'll tell you what. After raising 10 kids, these last two, I don't have the strength and the energy. My husband, he'd be like, "Why do you just let them do and don't?" Like with the other ones, you didn't let them get by with it, honey. I'm not in my 20s anymore. Hate to be the one to tell you this. Think about it. When we got together, I was 26 years old. 21 years later, you do the math and you'll know how old I am. I'm wore out. When I hit 40, things on me start falling apart. Yesterday, I went and had to have knee injections. Every 6 months, I have to go for knee injections. And it's a 3-week process. I go once a week for 3 weeks, and they do knee injections. The next day, after the following day, which is today, I'm sore. My knees are stiff. I can't hardly move. I'm in serious pain. After the 3 weeks, 2 weeks later, is when I'll start feeling relief, and I'll feel good for about maybe 4 months. And then 2 months later, I gotta do it all over again. Is it worth it? Yeah, because for those 4 months, I'm feeling pretty good with my knees. Doesn't do anything for my hips and my back and my fibromyalgia, but hey, I'm still here. I'm trying to make people laugh. I have a lot of health problems. A lot. But I'm still here. And if I can make one person laugh and I can make one person's day, that's all that matters. I want you to know that if you're out there and you're suffering with any kind of illness or you just don't feel like you can go on, there's people here, there's other people that are probably worse off than you are. And I want you to know that I'm here. Put a comment in the comment box. I'll talk to you. I'll be your friend. I'll be someone you can talk to. There is people out there that care. And I don't just say that lightly. There is people out there that care. You can do it. You can make it. You can do this. This coronavirus, I'll tell you what, has isolated a lot of people worse than what has already been. I mean, it's bad enough that people had already been suffering from depression and closed off themselves from the world. But then now, everybody is closed off even worse. And it makes it even harder. But it ain't always going to be like this. It's going to get better. But you know what? We're going to make it. It's going to be okay. I mean, I got to keep going. I got to keep pushing myself. There are days when I don't even feel like getting up out of the bed. There are some days when the pain is so bad that I can hardly get up out of the bed. And I have to make myself, I have to force myself to get up. And I got to keep going. So, like the other day, my husband has a dropped foot and he has to wear a brace. And he keeps going. And there are days when he's hurting and in so much pain, he's just like, maybe it'd be better if they just cut my leg off. It hurts so bad. And I told him, I said, no, you don't want that. You trust me, you don't want that. And you need to stop saying that. You don't need to say that. Because how would you feel if they did? Then what are you going to do? You'd have to get a fake leg, and then you're going to be in more pain, and you're going to have to learn to walk all over again. How are you going to feel then? And yesterday, we were driving down the road, and he seen a guy with a fake leg. And he was walking along, and he looked over at me, and he was like, that's awful. That man having to, go through life like that. He's like, I can't believe I say things like that. And he's like, I'm not going to say that anymore. And I said, yeah, you say things like that. And you say it like lightly. And just saying it because you're in pain, that's how you're going to, that would be something that you would have to go through. Is that something that you really want out of life? He's like, no. So he's like, yeah, I'm not saying that again. That's not something, and that's not something you say lightly. People don't think about that. People don't put themselves outside of their situation and look around, because usually there's somebody worse off than what you are. It's hard when you're in a situation and you think, hey, yeah, they can say, oh yeah, it's going to get better because, yeah, they're living this way or that way, or they've got this or they've got that. They can say that. Hey, me and my husband have not always had the things that we've had. There's been times when we haven't had a vehicle and my husband has had to walk. And it hasn't been that long ago. We had our vehicle stolen, and he was working at the time, and he lost his job because of somebody stole our vehicle, and his PPE equipment was in the vehicle, and the job fired him because he didn't have his PPE equipment, which is, if you don't know what that is, that's personal protection equipment. It was a hard hat, his safety goggles, and his gloves. And instead of them just issuing him new ones because he had a police report to prove that they were in the vehicle that was stolen, they just fired him. They were like, oh, nope, sorry. And so he lost his job. We had no vehicle, no way to get around. And like, if we needed to go get groceries at the grocery store, he would have to walk to the grocery store and push a buggy back to the house for groceries. And then he would take that buggy when he went back to the grocery store. He would push that buggy back to the grocery store because he wasn't stealing the buggy. He would push the buggy back to the grocery store and, then push it back home with the groceries. When we finally did get a vehicle, we returned the buggy back to the grocery store. So, like I said, we wasn't stealing the buggy. We were just using it for, sometimes you have to do what you have to do. So, was it depressing? Yes, it really was. And it was during Christmas time. It happened on December the 1st. What made it really sad, it was on our daughter's birthday that it happened. We had drove to Walmart to pick up her birthday cake. And while we were inside picking up her birthday cake, someone stole our vehicle. We had to get a ride home from the police. Very, very sweet police officer. She was so sweet. Gave us a ride home with the cake and our groceries, a few things we had. And we didn't get a vehicle for a while. It was months and months later. We didn't get a vehicle. It was, that happened in December. It was about 4 or 5 months later before we got a vehicle. So, yeah, I know what it is to not have a vehicle. And then we got another vehicle and it quit running. The vehicle that we ended up getting, it stopped working. It would not run. It went, died. Yeah. Need to be put out to pasture. So then eventually we got another vehicle. Yeah. And then it got a little better. Things step by step, little by little, it got better. So, you have to look at the bright side of everything, and you think, and I know when you're going through it, you're like, what bright side? Where's the light at the end of the tunnel? Are you sure that's the light at the end of the tunnel? Are you sure that's not another train getting ready to run over me? Because I feel like it's a train, and I feel like it's getting to run over me. Yeah. Here she is sitting in a home with things, and she's telling me to look at the light at the end of the tunnel, and she's a big fat liar. Bless her heart. That's a train. No. There's a light at the end of the tunnel. You just have to patiently sometimes wait and breathe. But breathe. It'll be there. Just trust me, it'll be there. Sometimes I can't breathe. And sometimes I can't breathe. So, we have a new president. But I got to give props to the old one. I know he was not perfect. I know. He had his faults. Trust me. I know. He did pardon some people. And I was so happy. I was reading over the people that he did pardon. I don't know all the people that he pardoned, but I was just reading over some of the few that he did. And they were in there for marijuana charges. I was so happy of those people that he did that were in there for marijuana charges that he did pardon that are out. So crazy that they were even in there to begin with, because I am a strong marijuana supporter. If that offends you, sorry, not sorry. I mean, that's just the way I feel. For me, the way I feel, no, I do not currently use marijuana because in the state that I live in, it is not legal here as of yet. So no, I do not use it because I'm not going to break the law. If it was legal, yes, I would, because my doctor would prescribe it for me. Just facts. So, I think that it should be, because I'm sorry, you do not hear of crime. Sorry. You do not hear of crimes where someone is smoking a joint and I'm talking not laced with stuff. I'm talking straight up just marijuana. Okay, we're talking about weed, marijuana, grown marijuana, not laced with anything. Marijuana is a plant that is grown in the ground. Marijuana should be legalized. It is not a drug that has other chemicals added to it. It is a medicinal plant that used to be legalized. It used to be legal. Research your facts, research the origin. The reason it became not legal was because the government could not figure out a way to tax it. So, one of the presidents decided, hey, we're going to make that illegal because we cannot figure out a way to tax it. So since they could not figure out a way to get taxes on it, that's why they made it illegal. Point blank, plain and simple. It was all about the Benjamins for the government. Plain and simple. Anyway, that's just the way it is. So, do I think it should be legal? Yes, because there has been many, many, many research where it is a medicinal plant, herb, and it does help people that are sick, that are in pain. It helps them. And I'm sorry, I have never, and if you can show me facts of a pothead, a person smoking weed, and it had not laced with anything, I'm talking about straight up just weed. If you can show me facts where a pothead has smoked some weed and then said, I'm going to go out here and I'm going to shoot up a school. I'm going to smoke weed and I'm going to go out here and kill some people. I'm going to smoke weed and I'm going to go out here and rob somebody. No, I'm sorry. Never heard of anybody doing any violent crimes smoking weed. No, the only thing anybody smoking weed's doing is chilling, relaxing, watching TV, and eating some food. They be eating Doritos. They be eating Cheetos. You know, they get the munchies. That's about it. They be eating brownies. You know, you do not hear of them doing violent crimes. That's it. And for real, that's what you're gonna lump that in with all these other drugs that people are doing, that they're getting addicted to and having all this withdrawal symptoms and needing to go to rehab for. Marijuana, you can do it. It's a take it or leave it thing. It doesn't get in your system and you become addicted to it. You can either do it or not do it. It's not a thing of, oh my God, I have to have it. It's not an addiction thing. It's just not. I know for a fact it's not. So why it's not legalized is because the government cannot figure out a way to tax it when they can't. But you see now states have figured out, I got it figured out. Well, you know what? Let's do it across the whole board, across the whole United States, not only at this state level, let's do it across the whole federal level. No, they don't want to do that. It's nonsense. Let's figure this shit out. You know, just one person's personal opinion on that matter. But who am I? Bless my heart. You know what I'm saying? Just the way I feel about it. Not that my opinion matters, apparently, but that's the way I feel about it. And yes, I've signed petitions. Anytime I see a petition floating around about it, yes, I'm going to sign it. Because when I feel a certain way about something, I'm going to sign a petition. And in doing so, I got a phone call the other day and they want to know if I wanted to donate money. No, I don't have money to be. I got money to be saving because I got things that something I got to be saving money for that I've got to do. And right now I'm not at liberty to talk about. When I'm at liberty to talk about it, I'll let you know what's in the works. At the moment, I'm not at liberty to say, but I got something in the works within the next 6 months that we're going to be doing, but I can't say at the moment. So all that money's going for that. So I ain't got money to be given to everybody. And as far as stuff like that, unless I know for a fact where that money's going, I'm not donating. Because too many places are saying, hey, we're collecting money for this, this, and this, and the money that is supposed to be appropriated for this, this, and this is not going to it. So I'm very, very, very picky about where I put money. And if you are donating money and to causes, please, please, please check the causes out and make sure that your money is going to where it's supposed to be going, because they will screw you in a heartbeat. And that's my husband. Hello? Yes, it did. Nope. Did you forget already? I'm winning. Right. No, you were straight up correct. Right. Well, doesn't it, the mileage added on to your total? Like, doesn't it add it on, like, if you go farther than what it says? I was just saying. Right, yeah. Right. Right. I don't blame you. I don't blame you a bit. I don't blame you. I would too. I don't blame you. I don't blame you one bit. I be like, I'm not other drivers, so. Right. You doing good? Oh, that's good. I'm getting ready to do my nails. That's real good. Yeah, so that's real good. 20 an hour. That's what I said. I know, that's what I said. That's good. Alright, let me. Yeah, right, like what's gonna matter. It just says here, it doesn't say where. It just says the address, it doesn't say. Right. I don't blame you. Sure, I don't blame you. I don't blame you one bit. Is she the same one that was that other day? Yep. You seem to get her a whole fucking lot. What? You seem to get her a whole lot. Look. Be like, I don't want to do this one no more. I'd deny it, and I would tell them why. Because you can give a reason why, can't you? Yeah. I would give her a bad review and tell them why. Because they can end up, if she gets enough bad reviews, they can end up suspending her account and she can't ride with Uber anymore. And then she can get a ride through Wheels. I don't know why she don't. It'd be cheaper if she go through Wheels. The truth be known, Wheels has probably already banned her too. I don't blame you. Well, that's the second time you've got her and she's treated you that way both times, and that's not fair for her to treat you like that. That's the second time you've got her and she's treated you like crap both times, and you don't have to be treated like that. So, and she's disrespecting the drivers, then Uber needs to know that she's disrespecting the drivers. So. Alright, baby. Well, I love you. Let me get off here so I can do my nails. Alright, I love you. Alright, baby. Yes. Okay. Bye. Anyway, that's my husband. He's having problems with one of his riders, which second time he's had to pick that woman up. And I tell you what, both times she has been so rude and so disrespectful. And I'll tell you what, these Uber drivers that are out here, they are out here doing a favor and doing a service to the community. And people need to, as long as they're showing, I can understand, there's some drivers out there that are rude. Okay. And their cars are nasty and dirty. He has OCD. His car is immaculate. He runs it through the car wash every day, vacuums it out, details it, cleans the windows, spot cleans everywhere. His car he's got seat covers, custom floor mats. The car is clean. And he has this thing about his car has to smell good. He's got incense things in his car. The incense there. Why is my microphone on? Let me make sure it's turned up. Okay. He has incense. Hello. Can you hear me now? How about now? Can you hear me now? I don't know. Oh shoot. Anyway, he has incense things that go on the vents and little. It's his car. He has so many compliments on his car. Of people have got in his car and been like, "It is so good to get in a car that is clean. It smells so good." And people have given him he's got a 5-star rating. People have got in his car and given him a 5-star rating and complimented and give him, high ratings. And this woman, this is the second time he's picked her up. And the first time she was like, "You need to move the seat up, the passenger seat up." And he always makes sure he's got the passenger seat all the way forward because nobody sits up front. And that morning, apparently, he didn't have it all the way up. It was like one notch, not all the way up. And she gets in and she's like, "You don't have the seat all the way up. You need to move it up." And he's like, "Ma'am, I've moved it up as far as it goes. It's not up all the way." And he's like, "Ma'am, I just moved it up this morning. It's all the way up." She gets out of the car and jerks the front passenger door open and yanks the passenger seat up that one notch and then slams the front door. Okay, my husband has a thing about slamming the car doors. That is one of his pet peeves. So she slams herself in and slams the door, and he's like, "Ma'am, please don't slam my doors." And she just runs her little mouth. So he takes her where she needs to go and everything. And she's like, "Yeah, I'm giving you a bad review." And he's like, "Ma'am, do what you got to do." So it's set up to where the Uber drivers can rate the passengers. So he let Uber know what's going on, to give her a bad review and let Uber know what was going on. That happened last week. Well, lo and behold, he picks her up again this morning. Well, when you put in a request for a ride, you need to put in where you're going. If you got any stops on the way to where you're going, you're supposed to put that in and then put, everything you're going to be doing, because when you put in where you're going, that driver is supposed to pick you up and take you exactly where it says you're going. You're not supposed to make any stops on the way or anything like that, because Uber needs to know where that driver's going at all times. It's for your safety and the Uber driver's safety. Well, she decides that on the way she wants to stop to pick her sister up. And my husband's like, "Ma'am, that's not in the Baby Yoda." Those are my notifications on my phone. I'm a big Star Wars fan. Sorry, I'm a geek. He's like, "Ma'am, it's not in the, itinerary. I'm not supposed to do that." What is it going to hurt? She is just right on the way. It's right up here. I don't see why you can't stop. She'll run that mouth again. He's like, "Where at?" She's just like, "Right over here. It's on the way. It's not even out of the way. I don't see why you can't." He's like, "Ma'am, fine. This is one time I'll do it. If this happens again, you're going to have to put it in the itinerary. That's what you want to do, because I'm not doing it again." Because other drivers, he's like, "I'm not other drivers. They're not supposed to do it. This is not what we're supposed to do. If you want it done like that, you're going to have to put it in, because I'm not going to get in trouble and lose my job. It's for the safety of everybody. Whatever. So he stops, picks her sister up. Okay, the whole way on the trip to where they're going, she's sitting back in the back running her mouth about him the whole time. Get to where they're going, drop them off. You need to pull closer up to the front. He's like, ma'am, I can't pull any closer to the front. This is where I gotta stop. I'm not allowed to go any farther. Well, other drivers do it. Ma'am, I can't go any farther up there. That I'm not allowed up there. Well, other driver, ma'am, again, I am not other drivers. This is as far as I'm going. You're gonna need to get out of the car. I'm giving you a bad review. Ma'am, do what you gotta do. At this point, he's like, ma'am, do what you gotta do. He keeps his cool the whole time. All right. If anybody knows my husband, that is so hard. He is biting his tongue. That is really hard for my husband to do, but he did it. Ma'am, do what you gotta do. She gets out of the car, slams his door. Ooh, child, let me tell you, bless her heart and all 500 pounds of her. Whew. So hard for him to do. And yes, he did write her and let Uber know what was going on. And like I told him, he needs to, because there is no reason for her to disrespect him like that and disrespect his car like that, because Uber needs to know, like I told him, Uber needs to know what's going on. There's no reason for anybody to be treated like that. He's just following safety protocols and doing what he's supposed to do. It's not like he's being hard-nosed and being rude. He's not calling her names. He's not saying anything out of the way. He's not calling her out of her name. He's being respectful, but yet she thinks that she can just bend all the rules and everybody should just do what she says. Just because another driver does it, everybody should. And the other drivers that are doing it is making it harder on the ones that are trying to follow the rules. That's not the way things work. So, like I told him, put down in your report what happened. That way Uber knows what's going on. Sad to say, you get enough bad reports on you, Uber will deactivate your account and you won't be able to get an Uber. They will deactivate your account and I don't know what you're going to do then, but you ain't going to be able to ride with Uber. And I know that's harsh and that sounds bad because I know people need a ride, but you know what? You need to learn to be a little more kinder and be appreciative of the ride you're getting. And I understand, yeah, you're paying for that ride, but you know what? You're not paying for that ride for you to get in there and disrespect the person's vehicle. You're not paying for that ride for you to get in there and talk any which way you want to talk to that person. Because just because you pay for something does not mean you mistreat the person that's doing the service for you. People need to be treated with respect. And I think the respect is just, people don't know how to treat people anymore. And a lot of people want to throw up it's a racial thing and this and that. And people disrespect people because of their race. That to me is such BS. Me and my husband, he was raised in a black neighborhood. He's had black friends growing up. We live in a black neighborhood now. I think there's on this street and the next street over. I think we're two families that are white maybe on this whole street in this neighborhood. Us and one other family that's way down the other side. It doesn't bother me any. We're friends with them. In fact, our neighbors next door grew up with my husband, went to school with my husband, and they lived on the same street that he grew up on. So, and to me, People are like, oh, yeah, you don't see color, whatever. Blah, blah. I don't. I see you as a person. I don't, it's not that I judge you, but I see you as a person. I see you a man or a woman or whatever, you know. Um, I don't judge one person's actions as if one man is acting a certain way, then I'm going to say, oh, well, just because he's that color, that means that whole race is that way. No, that means that man acted out and he was an idiot, bless his heart. You know, I mean, it is what it is. You got these young thugs out here shooting up houses, random houses in different neighborhoods. There's young thugs. They can be black, white, green, purple, pink, polka dotted. I don't know. It ain't just one race doing it. It's all different colors. And it ain't like they're targeting one race's houses. They're just randomly shooting up people, shooting up houses and shit. I mean, you can't necessarily say it's a race thing. But there is people out there, and it's white and black. But there's some black people out there look at white people and they'll be like, I'm gonna treat them like crap because my ancestors were slaves and your people own my ancestors and stuff. I don't know what my ancestors did back in the day. I mean, shoot, I didn't even know them. I am 47 years old. I wasn't alive back then. I don't know what they did. So why are you holding that against me? Shoot, you're only what? How old are you? You wasn't even alive back then either, so you don't know what your ancestors did. You didn't know them either, so why are you holding that against me? You know, I ain't treating you with disrespect, so you're gonna disrespect me and you're gonna hold that against me and you're gonna not want to have anything to do with me because of something that may or may not have happened that my ancestors may or may not have did back in God only knows when. Because actually, my ancestors wasn't even in America. They were in England. Because my ancestors are from England. They're descendants from the Queen. So technically, I'm sorry I wasn't even in America. So sorry, we wasn't owning nobody. We was in England. I don't know what they was doing in England because I ain't researched that, but we wasn't even in America. So sorry, that wasn't even us. Now my husband, I think they were like Irish or whatever. Somebody probably owned them. So I don't even know. You know, they could have been slaves too. Who knows? I don't know what his family was doing, and he don't either because he don't know nothing about his ancestors. So why is it our fault? You know, the past isn't the past, people. We need to live in the present and what's going on now. What happened in the past was sad. It was wrong. But leave it in the past. Quit dredging it up. Yeah, I know there's things we can learn from the past. I do. I understand that. But God, if we just keep bringing that shit up, dredging it up and dredging it up, and your family did this, and my family did this, and this, that, and the other. You know what's going to happen? Everybody's just going to keep on getting angry. Everybody's just going to keep on getting mad. And you know what? We're gonna keep on having these riots and we're gonna keep on having these killings and these shootings because the anger and the hate and all this is gonna be there over stuff that happened hundreds of years ago. It needs to stop. Let's live in today. And we ain't never gonna be able to live in today if we keep looking in the past of what happened then. We can't. No. People want to talk about, oh, well, we want to do this and we need to be united and Black Lives Matter. And you know what? Black lives do matter. And we need to stop with dredging up the past. Leave the past alone. Quit with the past. Yes, we can learn from it. But if we keep stirring that stink pot up, it's just going to keep smelling and smelling and smelling. Trust me. If you don't believe me, take some shit, put it in a pot, let it sit. Stir it up, see how it smells, then let it sit. Stir it up, see how it smells. It's just going to keep stinking. And the more you stir it, the more it's going to stink. It's time to throw that shit away. Get you a new pot. Let's put some good stuff in it. How about some love and some kindness and some respect? You know, until we start teaching our kids about the here and the now, let's teach some kindness to everybody. Our police force, our educators, our kids, our grandparents. Everybody needs to just let go of the past. Because the thing about it is, people that are alive today, right now, were you a slave? Did you own a slave? Because I know I didn't. And I know I wouldn't. And I know we got people out there that are intolerant and think they are so much better because of the color of their skin. Well, honey, let me tell you, if you get cut, your blood is going to bleed just the same as if you cut somebody else of another race. It's going to happen. And let me tell you, if you go to the hospital and have to have a blood transfusion, they didn't label the blood of what color it came from. Who knows? You better hope nothing happens where you got to have a blood transfusion. Because if you've ever had one, I hate to tell you, you might have all kinds of races in you now. Ooh, you ain't so superior now, are you? Whoop, hate to tell you that one. And you better hope and pray that if you go to the hospital and it's a life and death situation, that doctor that comes up in there that can save your life ain't another race, and you are so foolish that you just say, don't touch me. Would you rather die? Are you that hell-bent in your beliefs that you'd rather die? It is a sad, sad world that it would come down to that. Well, I'm going to go do my nails because I think I want to look cute today. I'm having my eyes checked today, and I get me a new pair of glasses, which is going to take 7 to 10 days to get. I'm not sure if it's business days or just regular days. But I'm getting new ones, and I'm happy. Well, this has been Becky K, and I really appreciate all my followers. If y'all don't care, subscribe, like, tell all your friends and family, pets, and tell your frenemies, your enemies. Tell everybody. Check me out. I might be fun to watch. If you got any suggestions, pop them down in the comment section. Give me some ideas of stuff you might want to talk about. I'm all ears. Thank you, and bless your heart.